Good morning, all. It's 5:27 a.m. here in Charlottesville, Virginia on Saturday, June 4th. I just stepped outside my back door. Have a listen. As you can hear, the birds are awake and in full throat. Let's take a walk. It's foggy today, even foggier than a few days ago when I made my video of a walk through the fog. So I thought today I'll take a stroll through the whole little subdivision I live in here in Charlottesville, my podunk town. I live in a house surrounded by houses that are empty. I have a neighbor up here who's been attempting to sell her house for 2 years, although she's playing games and took it off the market, got a new MLS number, and then now says it's new on the market for a month or so, but it actually went on sale in October of 2014, so we're coming up on 2 years. So that's all nice and ready to move into. Then across the street is a house owned by a woman who rents it out, but I noticed that since June 1st, there have been no cars there. Today is the 4th, and I'm wondering if the tenant who was living there moved out and she has no one to replace her with yet. So that house is uninhabited. That's the house across the street. Just for reference, my house is behind those trees there. Then we have two houses owned by the Virginia Department of Transportation out here toward the west, and those are vacant and for sale. And finally, we have a house down this driveway. Yes, I know it's hard to see and you can't see a thing, but trust me, it's there. Also owned by the Virginia Transportation and for sale. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 houses for sale immediately around me, and one across the street apparently empty and now not lived in. This is a cul-de-sac here, you see. And so basically I have hundreds of acres all to myself. Just me and Gray Cat and the birds and the deer and the foxes and the rabbits and the possums and the woodchucks and the squirrels and the woodpeckers. Not a person ever comes down here except the mailman to deliver my mail to my box right here. And we'll just take a look. And the UPS guy. And maybe FedEx once in a while. So I somehow fell into this wonderful situation of total peace and privacy, silence except when I blast my music, the luxury of never bothering anyone when I blast my music. There's the other house for sale for coming on 2 years. And it's just great because I love privacy, I love silence, and I love Mother Nature. And you sure can hear it, can't you? The deer have basically taken over and believe that this is their native land, like in the days of the Indians, and they are everywhere. And that's just fine with me. You say, oh, deer ticks, oh, give me a break. And here you can pick up a little brochure if you're interested in this house, but I'm not. So let's just walk along my street here. Now here you see a mailbox and you say, well, who lives there? Well, that's a mailbox for people who live about a half mile up this little road, whom I never see and have no idea who they are. Here's Lumos, which supposedly will lay fiber optic cable that will run right up to my house, which is down there. But I honestly don't know if they've done that or if they plan to do that. You see, you look here and you see Lumos and an arrow. And it looks like it's fairly recently dug up, but who knows what's in there. Anyway, you know what? Ting is available, fiber optic, said to be 1,000 down, 1,000 up. But I want no part of it. And you say, why not? It's cheap, better than Comcast, much faster. Well, Comcast currently gives me 175 down and 12 up, plus all of its cable TV offerings. It never has a problem, never. I haven't had a Comcast outage, I would say, in many, many months, maybe years. Used to be every week 5 years ago, but it is so steady and reliable that you couldn't pay me, much less have me pay less, to switch to Ting. Why? Because what I have works. It's not just the money, it's the time involved in a whole new setup. I don't have time for that crap. Now here's my nearest neighbor who actually lives in his and her house. This is a retired orthopedic surgeon and his wife. Very nice people. Saved my life 3 years ago when he rushed me to the emergency room on 2 occasions when I had a severe allergic reaction to what I don't know. We still don't know the cause, but I now have EpiPens in both my car and my house. So that's the only inhabited house on this block. Looking west now. Giant power pylon there. See that? Wires overhead. People said that would cause cancer and leukemia when we looked at our house, at this house in 1983. But, you know, 33 years later, here I am, and my daughter grew up in that house, and we're all seeming to do pretty good. So much for that. I'll just be quiet. You can listen to the birds. I have no idea when sunrise is today, but I'm sure that'll dissipate the fog. I've also learned another lesson from my failures with Google Glass uploads. This is Google Glass, by the way, making this movie. And that lesson is keep them under 15 minutes, specifically 14 minutes. For whatever reason, YouTube says that I can have unlimited length videos. I don't trust them because when I've tried in the past, they've said it's too long. I have no idea how to edit a YouTube video, nor do I care to learn. And speaking of that, oh, what's that? This is our intersection. This is the intersection, the only intersection in my little subdivision. And I'll just stand right in the middle and orient you, because I have a feeling we may take this walk from time to time. So I'm looking east right now. The sun will rise in the east someday, sometime today. Our one light in our subdivision at the intersection. Looking north, our stop sign. Looking west, my house is at the end of this cul-de-sac. Looking south, which takes you out of the only way in and out of our subdivision. One way in and out. And here's the stop sign on that side. So a stop sign on this main thoroughfare into the subdivision. People ignore it, and what really troubles me is there's lots of little kids living here now, and yet residents run right through the stop sign, sometimes 30, 40 miles an hour. Really poor behavior. Anyway, we're responsible for our own roads, even though it's a public road, and that means we can't put a security gate at the entrance to the subdivision. In some quirk of legalisms, we have to do our own, my subdivision, my housing association, we have to do our own plowing and pay for it with our dues. You'd think if that's the case, we could put a security gate and maybe a little booth and a card key at the entrance, which would, I think, double property values. But Can't be done, so they say. But who knows? Okay, let's head north on our north end of the subdivision. There are two streets, one coming in, we're walking along that, north of the intersection, and then the cross street, which is what I live on. So, I'm at 10.5 minutes, by the way. Here are some houses. Corner house on the northwest corner. Corner house on the northeast corner. I don't know if you can see it through the fog. Okay. And we'll just look at these nice places here. My neighbors. Just occurs to me that I can stop the video at 14 minutes and then I can start a new one. That's what I'm going to do, because this is so pleasant. Temperature's about maybe 65. You notice it's getting brighter. There's a nice place. Nice magnolia tree. The one American flag in the subdivision, flown by a vet, I think, in his yard. Here's a house that has undergone major renovation in the past year, which I would estimate has cost at least $250,000, because the number of heavy machines that were there made it look like they were building a skyscraper about 3 months ago. So somebody new has moved in. This house was in very bad shape. Roof, paint, septic tank, everything needed to be redone. Fun fact, this house was built and owned originally in the 60s by Wilhelmina Turner, who was the mother of Admiral Stansfield Turner, director of the CIA under Jimmy Carter. It is said to have a fantastic library with a huge dome of glass. I've never been in the house, so I can't attest to that. But who knows? Maybe the new owners will become friends and I can have a look. So, we continue. Obviously they play lacrosse because there's a lacrosse net. Somebody plays lacrosse. I spoke to a woman who lives there the other day, and she told me that renovations continue on a huge scale inside and in back, that they're not close to being done yet. Okay, here's a nice driveway that's just been repaved with these nice paver bricks. It used to be just loose gravel like mine. Maybe I should do that. If I win the lottery, maybe I'll do that. Looks very nice. Somebody who was married to a very famous person lives there, and I'm going to protect their privacy, and I'm not going to tell you her name. So there. I'm at 13.5 minutes, so this video is coming to an end shortly. But as I said, I'll start a new one at 14 minutes. So let's stop here, and today's second video will begin shortly. Good morning.